We often meet Rumi through soft quotes and candlelight, lines about love, light, and longing. But Mevlana Jalal ad-Din Rumi was not merely a poet of comfort. He was a master psychologist, a scientist of the soul, a verifier of revelation. His words were not meant only to soothe us, but to awaken us, sometimes painfully, to the deeper structure of our being. Near the beginning of his great work, the Masnavi, Rumi tells a story that speaks as clearly to the 21st century as it did to the 13th. It begins in a jungle, the jungle of existence. A powerful lion had been hunting the animals of the forest, spreading fear and chaos. The creatures, desperate for peace, made a deal. Each day, one of them would offer itself as the lion's meal so that the rest might live without terror. The lion, satisfied with this easy arrangement, agreed. But one day, a small rabbit was chosen, and this rabbit refused to accept the fate others had silently obeyed. He arrived late, calm but deliberate, knowing the lion's temper would boil. When the lion demanded an explanation, the rabbit said, "I was delayed by another lion, one who claimed to be the true king of this jungle. He even took my companion as his meal." Furious, the lion roared, "Take me to this impostor." The rabbit led him to a deep well and said, "He lives down there." The lion peered into the water and saw his own reflection. In his rage, he leapt to destroy his imagined rival and drowned in himself. Rumi pauses the story and opens the curtain to metaphysics. He says, divine intelligence, AKQL, is like an infinite ocean. The worlds we see, the forms we know, are cups and bowls floating upon its surface. For a time they hold their shape, and then they sink back into the ocean from which they came. We see the waves, the spray, the foam, but we forget the sea. Just as the arrow forgets the archer, the heart forgets the giver of conscience. And like a rider searching frantically for a lost horse, we forget that what we seek is carrying us even now. Spirit is so near, so immediate, that we no longer see it. Light itself makes seeing possible, yet we are blinded by the very brightness that allows sight. Light and darkness exist together, but darkness exists only to reveal the light. Pain reveals joy, sorrow reveals compassion, contrast reveals meaning. Since God has no opposite, he is hidden, not because he is far away, but because he is closer than our own seeing. When the lion fell into the well, Rumi says, "What he did to himself." Evil is self-striking, our projections rebound upon us. When we condemn others, we often condemn the unacknowledged parts of ourselves. The lion's enemy was his own reflection, and so is ours. The jungle, Rumi says, is the jungle of the human heart. Whatever we see in the outer world is a mirror of our inner state. The greed that devours nature, the violence that shapes nations, the thirst for control, they all begin as shadows in the individual soul. And yet, hope arrives in the form of the rabbit, the symbol of divine intelligence acting through what seems small, insignificant, or powerless. Through humility, the cosmic wisdom works to restore balance. It is through that subtle guidance, through conscience, awareness, and mindfulness, that the world finds its rescue. Rumi tells us the Masnavi is like a mirror, a compass, and a touchstone. The mirror shows us ourselves, our hidden motives and unspoken fears. The compass points us toward the real. the vast ocean of meaning beneath all forms, and the touchstone reveals the true gold of human nature, the heart, illuminated by divine light. Without this compass, we are lost in the labyrinth of speculation and ego. Without this mirror, we mistake projection for perception. Without this touchstone, we forget what it means to be human. The crises of our age, environmental, political, technological, are merely reflections of the same lion's pride and blindness. Like the lion, humanity looks into the well of creation and fails to recognize its own reflection. But the remedy is the same as it has always been: awakening. To remember the ocean within the wave, to see light as the ground of all perception, to know that our hearts are not separate from the divine heart that sustains everything. The human heart, Rumi says, is the place where the divine comes to know itself. When the heart becomes clear, creation fulfills its purpose. The mirror reflects the sun. And so the story ends not with despair, but renewal. For even in the smallest creature, the rabbit, divine intelligence can act to restore the world. Through awareness, humility, and remembrance, we rediscover the wisdom that guides all things. As Rumi writes, "The form was born from the word and died again. The wave fell back into the sea. Indeed, unto him we are returning. In every age, the lion of pride still prowls, and the rabbit of divine wisdom still whispers." Our task is not to slay the lion, but to see the reflection clearly, to recognize ourselves and return to the ocean that never left us.